So, what exactly happens when hip hop clashes with the law? From Uncle Luke battling the US government in the 90s, to rappers having their lyrics used against them in court, to Drake officially suing over battle rap lyrics used in Not Like Us. Today, we're breaking down why this lawsuit that Drake has brought before a court of law could set a dangerous precedent for policing lyrics, and why this moment could be bigger than just Drake versus Kendrick. Before rap was topping the Billboard charts or getting Grammy nods, it was under attack. In 1989, Luther Campbell, aka Uncle Luke, and his group, the Two Live Crew, dropped As Nasty as They Wanna Be. The album was loud, it was raunchy, and unapologetically explicit. But what happened next changed music history. A US District Court judge ruled that the album, As Nasty as They Wanna Be, was legally obscene. This was the first time that had ever happened in music. The ruling meant that the album couldn't be sold in stores in parts of Florida, and retailers who stocked the album were threatened with arrest. Police raided record shops. Two Live Crew members were arrested after performing live. Their music, and by extension, their right to express themselves, was treated as a criminal act. So Uncle Luke took the fight all the way to federal appeals court, and he won.
Order plaintiff versus Luther Campbell, defendant. Verdict. We, the jury, finds as follows. As to the defendant, Luther Campbell, the defendant is not guilty.
The judge ruled that the album was protected by the First Amendment. That decision became a landmark for freedom of artistic expression. This wasn't just a win for the Two Live Crew, it was a win for every poet, every rapper, every artist who ever wanted to tell the truth. And even if it was ugly, sexual, or controversial, Uncle Luke defended the idea that hip hop is art, and art deserves protection. And he paid the price for it in legal fees and public attacks, and politicians labeling him a threat to society. But Luke stood firm in what he believed in, himself, his people, before and after him, because he understood that censorship anywhere is a threat to expression everywhere. So, to understand why Drake's lawsuit matters, you need to first know the full story between his long simmering beef with Kendrick Lamar. It started subtly back in 2013. Kendrick Lamar was named MTV's hottest MC in the game. And for whatever reason, Drake, who came in at number 5 on the list, and J. Cole, who didn't even make the list, they felt some type of way about it. And in response, that same night the list was revealed, Drake Drake released 5 a.m. in Toronto, basically saying fuck that list and that he was the best out. Nothing wrong with that. A couple months later, Kendrick Lamar dropped Control, calling out nearly every big name in rap, including Drake. He wasn't just being competitive, he was drawing a line between lyricists and pop stars, in my opinion. Drake downplayed his feelings about the verse, but it clearly bothered him. He complained in nearly every interview about it. There's even rumors Drake refused to host the ESPYs if ESPN released audio of Drake essentially kicking Kendrick's back in. The BET cipher then occurred, and Kendrick made it clear he had no issues with stuffing the rapper back into his pajama clothes. Tension simmered for years, subliminal disses, interviews, and increasingly pointed bars. But by 2024, it turned into an all-out war.
I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, it's just big me, nigga.
Kendrick featured on Like That. Drake released Push Ups, Taylor Made Freestyle, Family Matters, and The Hard Part 6, while Kendrick released Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and the viral Not Like Us, calling Drake out with accusation that some believe blurred the line between personal insult and public allegation. Not Like Us exploded. It was an instant hit. Twitter was on fire. The reaction community was buzzing on YouTube, and it became an instant hit. It was played in the clubs the same night it went up on YouTube. Not Like Us went #1 on the charts, meme fodder, a West Coast anthem, but now it's also evidence. In 2025, Drake filed a lawsuit, not directly against Kendrick Lamar, despite his name being included in the documents over 1,000 times, but against Universal Music Group, the distributor of Not Like Us. The claim, defamation. Drake argues that specific lyric from Not Like Us damaged his reputation and caused material harm to his businesses and brand. But here's where things get controversial. Back in 2022, Drake signed a public petition alongside Jay-Z, Meek Mill, and others, urging courts not to use rap lyrics as literal evidence. The petition called out racial bias and warned that the lyrics were part of an artistic expression, not confession. Now Drake is doing the exact opposite, taking lyrics seriously enough to sue over them. It's not a criminal case, but the impact on artistic freedom could be just as big. This debate isn't new. Lyrics have already been used in courtrooms to put rappers behind bars. Bobby Shmurda's lyrics were cited as criminal evidence in his 2014 trial. Take K's The Race was used by prosecutors to describe his alleged crimes. YNW Melly's Murder on My Mind was referenced in a double homicide case. And Young Thug, who's now released, but during his trial, prosecutors treated his bars like real-life confessionals. Hip-hop has always walked the line between fiction and reality. But in the eyes of the law, rap often gets treated as fact and not art. And now Drake, who once advocated against this, is using lyrics as legal ammunition. While on their press tour for their new album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, the clips who had no participation in this specific battle with Kendrick Lamar and Drake were directly affected when UMG refused to release a single and then their album as a whole after demanding they remove a Kendrick Lamar feature. Malice points out the harm this has done to other artists and can do for other artists.
Right. Every artist, though.
You mean every artist?
It unlocks the potential for every artist. Everybody's expression, everybody's creativity is in jeopardy.
Right.
And that starts to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you
From Uncle Luke fighting to perform freely, to Kendrick pushing the edge in a diss, to Young Thug's lyrics being used to lock him up, it's all connected. If Drake case wins, it tells the court that hip-hop lyrics can't be artistic. They're actionable. They're suable. They're regulated. That means battle rap, satire, political critique, and even storytelling could be silenced, not by censorship laws, but by lawsuits. Uncle Luke once said, "You can't have freedom of speech for some and not for others." And he lived that fight in court, in music, and in culture. Now, in 2025, the biggest rapper on the planet is asking the courts to police lyrics because they hurt his feelings. They hurt his image. Rap lyrics he requested in an AI-generated verse from Tupac Shakur to be used against him. He's throwing stones and hiding his hands as if he didn't participate in mudslinging as well. The only difference is Kendrick didn't run to a courtroom. This isn't just a Kendrick diss. This is the potential turning point in how music is interpreted and how free artists truly are.